Have you ever wondered what kings and queens got up to in their spare, sexy time in the bedroom? You know, when they weren't too busy with any of their other weird royal obsessions. Well, wonder no further. Some of these monarchs had pretty creepy kinks and unusual sexual habits in the privacy of their own homes. While there are several reasons people develop a particular thing they like in the bedroom, one might assume that some of these kings and queens were just straight up bored. After all, if you have all the money and power in the world, what else is there to do for fun? Some of them, of course, probably just had stories made up about them. Still, from the emperors of ancient Rome to the necrophiliacs of France, here are some of the strangest royal tastes in all of recorded history. Join us today as we look at extraordinary sexual habits and stories of royals throughout history. Herod the Great got intimate with his dead wife in honey. Herod was a notorious figure in the ancient world, but his problems might have run even deeper than most folks realize. He wasn't actually born a Judean or a royal, but married into the Hasmonean and Maccabee dynasty that ruled the area. His wife was called Mariamne. A beautiful lady, Mariamne regularly made Herod jealous. So, thanks to some conspiring from his own family, Herod had her killed. Horrifyingly, he couldn't let her go after her death. The Talmud claims that Herod kept her dead body, preserved it in honey, and still made love to it for 7 whole years. Tiberius allegedly trained young boys to play a disturbing game with him. The second Roman emperor, Tiberius, was into some pretty awful stuff. Legend has it, he trained a bunch of little boys, his minnows, to swim between his thighs to nibble and lick him. He even snatched up, weaned healthy babies, and let them suck his penis instead of their mother's nipple, he being, by age and nature, fond of such perversions. At his seaside villa in Capri, he hosted illicit parties to help keep his own libido up, according to Suetonius. Tiberius also collected scandalous writings and had sexy frescoes painted on his walls. Also, in the gardens, he made boys and girls dress up as Pan and wild nymphs and get it on. And that's not even counting all his depravities with adults. Of course, the major source of the salacious stories we have about Tiberius come from accounts written by Tacitus and Suetonius, both of whom had their own possible motivations for wanting to tarnish the reputation of a Roman emperor after the fact. Given this, it's possible that the incredibly disturbing stories that emerged about Tiberius after his death could be propaganda. Caligula committed a ton of family love, and not the good kind. The Roman Emperor Caligula had a reputation for getting intimate with his family. Ancient Roman rumor had it that this insane autocrat slept with each of his 3 sisters. However, contrary to popular opinion, he didn't rip his sibling's baby from her womb and eat it. Caligula's favorite sister was Drusilla. Their grandma allegedly caught them sleeping together as kids, and Caligula took Drusilla from her husband to live with him when they were adults. Grieving intensely after Drusilla's death, Caligula also prostituted his other sisters to his favorite subjects. Juana, the Mad of Castile, traveled with her husband's corpse for 3 years. The daughter of the famed Catholic monarchs Isabella and Ferdinand of Spain, Juana la Loca, or Joan the Mad, inherited their thrones, but also her family's mental health issues. Juana's maternal grandmother, also named Isabella, suffered from severe depression after she was widowed, and her granddaughter appeared to have inherited this condition. Juana married a notorious lecher named Philip the Handsome, and he drove her crazy, or more crazy anyway, with his infidelities. But she still was madly in love with him, so much so that, after he died young, Juana dug up his body and carried his casket everywhere with her. She went around Spain in a giant funeral procession, showing off his deceased body from 1506 to 1509. Juana refused to bathe or sleep in a bed until her father, Ferdinand, put her in a monastery. Elagabalus assaulted Vestal virgins and stripped in public. The uber-creepy Emperor Elagabalus was debauched in both his personal and official life. In a particularly savage instance of religious sacrilege, he allegedly raped a Vestal virgin, the chaste priestesses who were the heart of Rome and wanted to destroy the eternal flames at the goddess Vesta's shrine. During his reign, he profaned the sacred rites of the Roman nation, according to the Historia Augusta, supposedly in an attempt to put his own patron god at the center of the pantheon. Elagabalus also sent his agents out to find the most well-endowed men to come pleasure him. He also hosted performances of Helen and Paris's love story at his home. He himself played a role in the drama, assuming the part of love goddess Venus and stripping naked in front of his guests. Ottoman Emperor Ibrahim held palace-wide group parties. The 17th century Ottoman Emperor Ibrahim, the Mad, lived up to his moniker. Rumor had it that he ordered his gardeners to execute all 280 of the women in his harem by sewing them into sacks and dropping them into the ocean, just so he could go through the process of choosing some new women for his own pleasure. He was the last heir of his house at the time he came to the throne, so everyone tried to interest him in having sex. Unfortunately for them, lust became an obsession, so much so that Ibrahim refused to stop having kids and lovers. He might have even hosted massive love parties at the palace. Thank you for watching. To support our channel, please subscribe and leave a comment.